Hello, this is an introductory video for EDU 521, Foundations of Education. I am your instructor, Julie Sarah Boyd, and I think I've met most of you. If I haven't, I am the Director of the Office of Teacher Education. I also am a former secondary math teacher in middle school and high school in DC as well as in New York and South Carolina. And I've been at American University for teaching for 5 years, in my position for 3, and I've taught Foundations of Education. I think this is my 6th or 7th time. This video is just to give you the lay of the land for the course. As I said in Blackboard, please watch this video before continuing on into the first week's module. We're in Blackboard right now. Yours probably looks a little different than mine, but I'm in content, and you'll notice a couple things. You'll notice the syllabus, which we'll go through in depth, and then you'll have weeks 1 through 6. We talk about what's in there, the case study rubric and topics, the personal education timeline, and then this Twitter following. So let's first go to our syllabus. I do want to mention that the syllabus can change, readings can change. That's very common with me. It's very common in an online course when we try to do as much as possible up front. But when I do change the syllabus, I do change readings. I'll do it before the module for that week, and I will let you know through Blackboard announcements. You'll see some information. I am in the office 3 days a week in the summer. I'm in grade 117. I can have a face-to-face during the day. If you work during the day or you have other obligations, I am available via Skype or GChat during business hours, but also after 8:30 at night. So the course description. This course looks critically at the reciprocal relationship between schooling and society, with particular attention paid to the socioeconomic, political, cultural, and ideological context in which schools operate. The course examines educational institutions both as formal organizations and as a means for training, control, socialization, cultural transmission, and/or transformation and renewal. The course places special emphasis on race, class, culture, and gender in schooling as well as in society at large. The course integrates educational systems through a critical theory perspective at both the micro and macro levels. The course represents and incorporates the liberal arts outlook on schooling, and as such draws on perspectives from history, sociology, and philosophy. That's a lot. That's a lot to do in 6 weeks, but we will do it. And we will do it with these 4 essential questions that you should be able to answer by the end of this 6-week class. What is the purpose of schooling? What is the foundation of today's education reform? How have these contemporary topics been formed throughout the history of education? And what bias do each of us bring when reading, researching, and analyzing the foundations of education? We will do this by each week talking about a contemporary education reform topic and looking at it from a historical perspective, from a sociological perspective, from an authentic real-world perspective, from views of current educators and those in education. And then you're going to add your 4th view, and that's your viewpoint and your perspective as a student in a graduate school, as a potential teacher, as some of y'all are already teachers. We have a lot of readings, and I'm just going to say right from the get-go, you're going to spend about 5 hours a week on this course. I know it's a lot, and I know it's intense, and I've heard this before, that it's a lot of work. But remember that this course is in 6 weeks. A typical semester is 14. That doesn't even include the finals, and our 6th week includes the final assignments. So you're really condensing a course. It is a lot of work. Again, plan on about 5 hours. Sometimes people say it takes longer. People have survived. It will be a great course. People love the course. I've had really good feedback that they've learned so much. It's just intense. It's a very rich course. Our main reading comes from, our required reading comes from Diane Ravitch, The Death and Life of the Great American School System. I chose this book because she's very opinionated if you don't know Diane Ravitch. but it has a really great detail of the history of education. Sometimes you may believe in her opinion, sometimes you might not. I believe in a lot of things she agrees in. I don't agree with a lot of things she talks about. So it's not about the opinion, it's about the content of the material. You also have additional readings in the course that will be available on Blackboard. And again, some of this stuff is already up, but I do waive the right to change readings, and I will do that before the module goes for that week. You have 5 assignments. The first one is your APA style quiz. This is a short online quiz. You'll see this in week 1. It's a refresher on APA style of writing, research, citation. That is actually due Monday, May 11th, the first day at 9 p.m. You have a personal education timeline. You have a draft and a final. This is through Blackboard. And I will explain more about this in our first week. Each week you have article responses. You'll read the article, you'll read your Ravitch book if you have chapters assigned, and any articles in the article folder in Blackboard. And your response will include a brief summary of the articles, how it relates to the foundations of education featured in the education timeline, which you'll read about in week 1, and any personal reflections on the topic. However, you want to be unbiased, and the key here is that each week you'll have multiple articles. You want to summarize all the articles in an organic way. So I don't want to see like this article is about this article is about this article is about this. I want you to weave that week's theme into the article responses. And you'll see my rubric right here. These are due Wednesdays at 9 p.m. The next thing that you have are social media responses via Blackboard. So you have an article content folder each week, and you also have a media content folder each week. And what I want you to do with the media, you're going to watch the media that's in the folder. You're also going to start a Twitter account if you don't have one already. And you're going to add certain people, certain organizations to your Twitter account based on the organizations. You have to add at least 3 people or organizations to your Twitter account each week that focus on that week's topic. And then you're going to write a social media response about the media clips, about the discoveries in your Twitter feed, and kind of weave that into that week's theme. And you'll see my rubric there as well. Finally, you have a case study that you will do with a partner, where you're going to choose a case study that is on Blackboard, and you're going to research it and discuss how it relates to the 5 topics that we're discussing in this course. Okay, so this will make more sense when we get into Blackboard. Attendance, this is an online class, it's asynchronous, so there's not an attendance requirement. However, I do expect you to reply to any emails from myself or the case study partner within 24 hours. Again, it's a short amount of time we're together, so we need to be responsive. And I will do the same. You should expect a response from me within 24 hours unless I notify you in advance. But I'm generally around during these 6 weeks. Okay, so here's my big pet peeve. I do not accept late assignments, ever, ever, ever. Obviously, that's not true. I do accept them sometimes if there's a death in the family or if someone's hospitalized, severe cases. I do accept early and on-time assignments, and this is sort of my thing. I grew up in a household where we were on time or early for everything, and it sort of followed myself in my professional path. So please, please, please turn in assignments ahead of time, and make sure you organize yourself. Again, it's 6 weeks. There's a lot of assignments going on. Plug all these dates into your calendar. You know in advance all of what's assigned to you. So here's the course outline. So we have, again, 6 weeks of topics, sort of. Week 1 isn't a topic, but our 5 topics are school choice, teachers' conditions, rights, and pay, content, standards, and pedagogy, standardized testing, and race, class, culture. You'll see the readings, which are in Blackboard. You'll see the assignments that are due that week. You'll see some keywords. Again, I am going to reiterate that I might change readings. The first week readings are set, so you could start that. But basically, each week I will, that Sunday before, I will post presentation, readings, and media by Sunday at 9 a.m. the week before. That will set you up for your readings, for your media, so for your article responses, your social media responses for that week. Your social media responses are due Saturday at noon, so you have your article response on Wednesday, your social media response on Saturday at noon, and then Sunday at 9 a.m. I start the next module, what I call module. So that's sort of how it works. You have a couple other assignments with your personal education timeline and case study, but you'll kind of have to do that while you're kind of balancing the rest of the work. You'll also see that we go by points. It's 100 points. Points are percentages, and this is the grading scale. I'm going to stop right here because there's a lot in the video, and then I'm going to do a second video that talks more about the content in Blackboard.